I'm not going to use a lot of props today, but if you have something you'd like to sit on when we move to a seated position, I've got a soft blanket. A lot of us tend to be tight right now through the low back, so just something that can elevate us a little. Maybe have it close by. If you want to press pause and go grab it, find some good music to turn on, take a moment to start standing. And also I have a chair close by if you want to use a prop, like a chair, a block, anything like that. The wall is great. Choose whatever is good for you. So take a moment to spread the toes really wide and find that root system as we anchor down into our feet. Feel those strong, powerful leg muscles. And softening the knees, inviting the core to activate, creating a long spine as we pull the tailbone down and lift the tailbone up. Hands can go wherever you feel the most comfortable. If you need to just kind of stay within, want to fold them into the heart, rest them on your hips, or let them melt out to the side, palms open to the sky. Take a couple of nice breaths here. And just allow yourself to have these few moments of stillness and checking in, doing good things for our bodies. As we inhale, we will start to sweep the arms up if that feels good. As we exhale, we'll just press them back into the earth. So trying to imagine that we're pushing against a force. So as we lift up, as though something is trying to pull our hands down, and as we press down, as though something is trying to keep them lifted. Stay active in the legs, tuning the body into the breath. And then the next time we exhale, we're gonna go ahead and swan dive into a forward fold, maybe a half fold, hinging at the hips if we're a little tight, totally fine. We're just kind of starting to melt the ribs into the top of the thighs. And then we'll lift halfway intentionally, so nice long spine, maybe a little more bend in the knees. And then we'll inhale tall, big breath, exhale back into that fold. Half lift if we're not already there, inhale tall. So we'll just do that a few times. Go ahead and just move with the breath. We're focused here just on warming up through the back of those legs. And then the next time we exhale, we'll go ahead and sink into a chair. So arms can come long, they can fold into the heart. We want to be able to see our toes and we want to have that long spine. So if you notice yourself arching or curving, go ahead and just lift up a little bit, find good alignment in your spine, and then you can sink. Check in, see how the legs are feeling. Maybe play with that balance chair, going up onto the balls of the feet. Maybe do one, then do the other. Finding the breath. Exhale as we melt. Big breath overhead, inhale up, exhale as we swan dive. Forward fold, find our half lift, and then again, inhaling tall. We'll take this into a little alternating side to side stretch. So we'll let one arm reach, and then the other. Anchoring down into the foot as the same side hand reaches tall. And then we'll pause for a moment, getting as long as we can, whichever side you're reaching on. And then if we want to add just a gentle twist, that arm can start to come overhead. Try to keep the hip anchored over the foot. It'll want to pop out. So trying to keep that alignment in. We'll inhale both arms tall, big breath. Exhale as the first arm drops. Second arm reaches. And then an option to reach up and over if it feels okay in your body. Inhaling tall with both arms again. As we exhale, we'll make our way back into our chair. Taking a few breaths here. Option to move into that balance chair. On our exhale, we'll sink into the heels. Inhale tall, big full breath. Exhale the hands down and walk ourselves open, moving into a little moonflower, sunflower flow. So it might be that we move with the breath. It might be that we find that moon pose. Hang out for just a moment here. Just kind of acknowledge sensations and the feelings that we have going on in the body as we move. reach tall in an inhale. As we exhale, we'll fold forward. So as far as you would like to go. If you're feeling a little tight, you may notice that it's just a different position from where you would be under normal circumstances. And then we'll try to find that half lift. So again, we could bend our knees if we wanted to, trying to find that flat spine. Inhale as we reach tall, big full breath. Exhale as the hands fold into the heart. We're gonna roll our shoulders back. So noticing if we're carrying some tension there. See if we can let a little bit of it go. Melt the shoulders down. We'll let the left hand fall. Right arm reach up and over. So we're coming into a side stretch, which is a little different dynamic as the legs are wider. And then we'll let the right hand release. Left arm reach up and over. Doesn't matter if you do the same side that I cue, just make sure you hit both. Inhale as both arms are reached up. Big full breath. Exhale as the hands fold into the heart. If you want to heel toe your way back in, feel free to. Decide where you would like to start as the front of your mat. Move to this side. And we'll take a moment to find some space, find some heat in those legs. So I'm going to start with my right foot grounded down, lift my leg, lift my left, just kind of playing with balance here. So a lot of stuff going on right now. If you feel as though your balance is affected, it's so normal. And then we'll step that leg back. Coming into lunge, I'm going to keep both feet nice and flat here, but if you want to take that back heel off the floor, step the leg a little deeper, certainly can. And we'll add some flowing movement here. So as we inhale, we'll sweep our arms up tall. As we exhale, we'll hinge forward and we'll let the arms come down into airplane arms. So flat spine, palms lift to the sky. Inhale up and exhale down. So we're getting a little rotation through the shoulders, movement through the hips, strengthen those legs. And your pace might be totally different than mine. As you move with the breath, it just depends on where your breath is today. We'll meet at the bottom. We'll hold here, take a couple of breaths. And then we'll come back into a standing position. From our lunge, we'll allow ourselves to twist open, starting with the hands folded into the heart. Grounding into both feet. My right knee is forward, so I'm going to twist to my right. Back into a standing position. And then walking the feet closer together, we'll make our way into our pyramid here. So both legs are nice and long, feet are aligned toward that short edge of the mat. We hinge forward, so we're still finding that long spine. We can rest on that front leg. We can melt a little deeper. You could use that prop, chair, wall, block, anything that feels good for you. Reach for the floor. Check that the knees have that micro bend. And then we can choose to stay here in our pyramid, enjoy that stretch. We could step into forward fold, or we can make our way into our balanced half moon using a prop if you'd like. We'll ground into that front foot. Knees stay soft, back leg can lift. We'll rotate that back hip on top of the bottom hip. So I'm gonna roll my left leg so that it opens up to the sky. We have the option here of lifting that left arm as well. It's a great pose to practice against a wall. If you want to feel a little more comfortable with it, use a focal point. And then whether we're in pyramid or balanced half moon, we'll make our way back to forward fold. Take a moment to sink here. Maybe creating a little rainbow around our feet, adding some gentle movement. And then hanging out in our forward fold for just a moment. With our inhale, we'll lift tall and then come back into that alternating side to side stretch, reaching through one arm and then the other, taking as long as you'd like to find the stretch. And then reaching equally through both hands. As we exhale, we'll make our way into chair. Option to extend the arms to fold. Maybe play with that balance chair. Melting back into the heels. Lifting tall into mountain. Exhale the hands to the heart. So if you want to just switch sides, you can do so from here. I started with my left leg lifted, so you'll lift your right leg. I'm actually going to move to the opposite side of my mat just so I can continue to face the camera. So same thing, anchoring into the left foot, lifting through the right, playing with that balance, kind of acknowledging where we are today. And then we'll step back into lunge. Foot can stay flat, or we can reach a little deeper if we'd like. Take a moment to just find some stillness. And then we'll add movement. So inhaling the arms up, exhaling as we fold forward, reaching through the palms of the hands. And again, we'll meet the next time we're hinged forward. Just kind of enjoying a little space here. As we inhale, we'll make our way back to standing, fold the hands into the heart, add that gentle twist. So my left knee is now forward. I'll turn to the left. Back to center again. And then walking the feet closer together, preparing for that pyramid. So toes point to the short edge. Hinging forward, noticing the side might feel very different than the other. Checking in, seeing how we're feeling. You find those areas that are tight or tense. Go ahead and focus on just sending the breath there. And then we have those options. We can stay in pyramid. We can make our way to forward fold, or we can play with our balanced half moon. Pressing into the left foot, letting the right heel lift. You can always just leave those toes on the mat, give ourselves a little bit of the same sensation. Right hip will roll on top of the left, and we can lift that right arm if we'd like. And then with our exhale, we'll melt our way to our forward fold. Option to hang out here or to create some sweeping movements, whatever movements feel good for you. Meeting in a neutral position. Inhale as the arms sweep up. Alternate our little side to side stretch for a moment. Reaching through both hands. Exhale as we make our way into our chair. Option to play with our balance chair. Sinking and releasing. Inhale tall into our mountain, big full breath. And we're gonna make our way to the floor here. So if you have that prop or wanna grab it, go ahead and find it. Lift the arms tall, swan dive, forward fold. Starting with our cat pose. Nice place to move into the spine, stacking shoulders over hands, hips over knees, tucking the tailbone down. And crown of the head melt and trying to pull that highest part of the back just a little higher. From here, coming into our cow. So letting our tailbone lift, shining our heart forward. If it feels okay in the neck to bring the gaze out, it's a great option. And then we'll move back into a neutral spine and shifting our weight as we come into a seated position. We'll start with our staff pose. So this is where if you notice you're really tight in your low back, you'll find that you're tending to hunch. Just sliding something small, an extra mat rolled up, a towel, can help us to get that pelvis to tilt the way we want it to, so we can sit up nice and straight. Allow the legs to come out in front, keeping them active by flexing the feet. If your hands reach the floor, awesome. If not, it's okay. You can rest them where they feel the most comfortable. We'll roll the shoulders back and down. Find our long spine, engage our core, and maybe closing our eyes here just to check in. Notice how much work and muscle memory it takes just to find good posture. And then if it feels okay, we'll take this into a gentle twist. So we'll let the hands come out to the right. We're focused on still keeping that spine nice and long. So we'll let your left hand rest on the floor or the leg you could. We'll come back to center. Switching sides. Back to center again. Giving our hips a little love with a seated tree. We'll fold one leg in. I'm going to fold my left in. Sitting so that you are the most comfortable. So if that foot needs to slide in or out, or you need to support your knee in any way, feel free to. We'll start again just by sitting up tall, noticing how this feels. Foot stays flexed. And then if we'd like, we can hinge forward. If you have a prop that works for you to reach for your foot, you can grab a t-shirt, a towel, a strap, a scarf, anything that helps you reach around it, or you can just reach for your calf. Try to keep the spine long. If you notice yourself rounding a lot, see if we can continue to melt ribs to thigh. And we'll come back into that seated position. Switch legs, shake it out a little if we need to. Make any adjustments. Sitting up tall for a moment. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to hinge forward, just like our other folds. And then sitting up tall again. From here, we're going to make our way onto the floor. If you'd like to move through boat pose, I'm going to cue that. If not, you can just roll back, however works for you. Anchoring down into those sits bones, try to keep that nice long spine. We'll let the feet lift if it feels okay. If not, we keep the toes on the mat. Hands can support us however we feel the most comfortable. As legs start to find length and space, we'll feel those abdominals fire. We can hold here for a breath or two. And then we can gently make our way all the way down, using that core control. And then just spreading out so you're nice and comfortable on your mat. We're gonna give the hips a little more love here, so we're gonna bring the right knee into the chest. Try to melt the shoulders into the floor. Try to find that relaxation if you wanna close your eyes. Good time to do so. And we'll create some circles with that right knee. And we reverse our circles. And then we'll bring that right knee back into the chest. Give it a nice hug. If it feels okay, imagine you're doing a half happy baby. So we're gonna let that right knee fall to the outside. Imagine it's drawing out toward your right armpit. And then if it feels okay, pressing that foot toward the sky. And we'll let the knee come back to center. Use the left hand to gently draw the right knee over the body, coming into a supine spinal twist. Right shoulder stays grounded. We can extend the right arm up, look over the right fingers. And then back to center, Right knee comes into the chest, left knee comes to join it, finding our little ball, perhaps rocking side to side. And then right leg will go long. Left knee stays in. Shoulders are down. We're melting into those knee circles. So we may notice some popping here, perfectly fine. Just make sure you're not creating pain. We'll reverse the circles. You get to control how big or how small they are. And then the knee will come back into the center. Then we'll make our way into that half happy baby. So we let that left knee fall out to the side, maybe toward the armpit. And then we have the option of pressing the foot toward the sky, keeping the right hip, the right leg nice and controlled. And then that left knee will come into the chest. The right hand will go ahead and grab it. We'll make our way into that supine spinal twist again. Gazing over the left fingers, plugging the left shoulder into the mat. Bring the left knee back to the center, the right knee to meet it. Maybe rocking side to side here if it feels good. And if you're near a wall and want to practice legs up the wall, it's a great pose. We can also put our legs up on a chair, or if you're just somewhere that you don't have a lot of extra space, you can just lengthen your legs to the sky. Take a moment here to let that blood flow work its way down into the trunk. Maybe even a little movement in the feet, pointing and flexing the toes, little ankle circles. And then if you have chosen legs up the wall and you'd like to stay there for your Shavasana, feel free to do so. I'm going to go ahead and just bring my legs back down, make my way into corpse pose. Let the hands open up to the sky. You might be more comfortable in a seated position here. We're going to think about doing some equal ratio breathing here. So what that means is our inhales will match our exhales. It's nice to add a little slight pause in between. So we'll inhale for 4, we'll hold just for a second, and then we'll exhale for 4. And you can pick whichever number you'd like. I'm going to cue 4, we'll do it twice, and then you can find your own if you'd like. So we'll take a deep cleansing inhale, and then an exhale presses all the air back out. We'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. So it's a great practice to continue if you want to go ahead and find a few minutes for yourself, turn on a song you like, work on lengthening those equal ratio breaths. If you're ready to go ahead and finish, make your way to one side, press back up to a seated position. We'll roll those shoulders back and down a couple more times. See how the tension is feeling now. Exhale, so we let those shoulders melt down the spine. Pulling our hands into our heart and closing our practice with Namaste. Thanks for practicing.